PS5 or Xbox Series X? One of our subscribers, Paul Wong, has asked which one he should get. I do apologise that this video is a bit late, but yeah, let's get into it. So we'll start off with the PS5. We'll start with the looks. It looks great. You know, you walk through the door, it's an eye catcher. It looks great. It is quite big, but other than that, it looks great. And then performance-wise, it hasn't failed me. Every game that I've played, it's usually 60 frames per second. Obviously, on the odd occasion, and unfortunately, it's maybe 30 FPS, depending on what game it is. That doesn't really support 60 frames per second. But look, it hasn't failed me. It does what it's meant to do. I've got the digital version. I don't play disc games anymore. It was all digital, so I decided to get that because it's a bit cheaper and it still had the same performance. Which was great. There's not a whole lot of games yet that that are for PS5 that take full advantage of what it can do. So I'm hoping, obviously, in the near future, that there is some games that will be out there that that take full advantage of everything that it can do. But I've owned the PS5 for nearly 2 years now, I think. Yeah, nearly 2 years now. And yeah, look, it's great. It hasn't failed me. It's not loud like the PS4. Not like a fucking jet fan. It's quiet. It does what it says it's gonna do. It's fast, and it looks great. And then you got the controller. With the haptic vibration, the adaptive triggers. Yeah, look, there's not a whole lot of, as I said before, there's not a whole lot of games out there that have taken full advantage of that. Usually it's just, PS4 games or whatever still so far that you still play. They don't take advantage of it, obviously. But then when you play a game that does take advantage of the L2 and the R2 adaptive triggers and the haptic vibration, it's really nice. It feels really good when you're playing. It's very different. And then the controller even looks nice as well. Every console that Sony's released has always been a different sort of look on the controller. And I like how they went for the sort of bigger style. A bigger controller fits in your hand really nice. Whereas the PS4, it was a nice controller, but it was quite small. But yeah, no, in my opinion, the PS5, it's a great console. I've had it for nearly 2 years, as I said, and it's done everything that it's meant to do for me. It hasn't failed me. I can't floor it, and that's my opinion. I love it. So yeah. Now for the Xbox Series X. I don't own an Xbox Series X. I have played on one. My mate has one, and look, they're not a bad console either. The controller is the same. There's no change there. It's the same thing. If you pick up an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One controller, it's pretty well going to be the same sort of thing. It's quite small and compact. And they're able to fit the same sort of power as the PS5's got in this little thing, which is quite cool. It's quite small, and they were able to fit all that in there. Because performance-wise, in my opinion, they're both pretty well neck and neck. But and then it also comes down to what exclusives they have as well, like what games that have the more exclusives and what you'd like to play as well. And at the moment, I think it's pretty well PS5. They have a lot of exclusive games that are just for that, but then so does Xbox. They have their own exclusives like Forza. If you love car racing, games like that, Xbox is probably the one to go for, because they have a lot of those exclusives, a lot of car games, a lot of car racing games. Look, it comes down to your opinion, what you like, what looks nice to you, and what you sort of grew up with. I grew up with the PlayStation. I had it from, since I was a kid, from PS1 all the way up to You know, I've had PS1, 2, 3, 4, and now the 5, and look, it'll probably continue until however long I live. But yeah, it's sort of like what you want to go for. But the PS5 looks, in my opinion, looks a lot nicer, looks better. It's different. It's like, whoa, what's that fucking thing sitting on your desk? And then you look see the Xbox, it's an Xbox. You know, you sort of just can see that. But in saying that, they still both have their, you know, advantages and disadvantages. So yeah, look, what I'll do is I'll put some links in the description of this video, and you can go check out some of the specs if you'd like. But if I was in your position, I'd definitely be going the PS5. But as I said, it's your opinion. What looks nice, what looks better to you, what games you like to play. You know, it all comes down to that. And I know that the Xbox, I know the Series S. So that's where it's a bit like, okay, like the Xbox, if you get the Series X, you get the full performance capabilities. But if you get the Series S, which is the digital side, you don't actually get the full performance. They actually have I think they've taken some stuff out, and the performance isn't the same. It's not as good. Whereas the PS5, the digital version and the disc, same thing, just add a disc. You still get the same performance. Just, you know, the digital version just doesn't have a disc, but you still get the same performance. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's your decision, and yeah, I'd be very curious to hear what you ended up choosing after watching the video. I know, and there's plenty of other videos out there that go into way more depth. I'm just sort of this is sort of just my opinion, you know, as I don't have an Xbox Series S to compare properly to. I've only played it a handful of times at my mate's place, but yeah, I'd love to see what I would love to see what you choose, and I hope this video somewhat has helped. But yeah, I will leave some links in the description to the specs and that, so you can have a look at them yourself to decide what might be best for you. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.